Why be vegan? No science, just simple rationality. I'm reading off a notebook.
Got to pick and choose right things to do.
Protein theory, no vitamins, no calories, just simple logic, which is something that I still don't see much, even in vegan communities. It seems as though we're still trying to hold on to the old paradigm and percentages that comes from meat eating or the animal flesh eating, because I don't want to desensitize the word. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to just appeal to simple rationality. And I find it very, very interesting as well, I will note, that in a society where everything that you can't see is written off as fiction, and we don't believe in spirits or energies and ghosts, that someone will quickly say to you, where do you get your protein? Something that they've never seen, something that they don't know about, except for what they've been told about it. Just to crack this open. Alright. If you look around, it would appear that we are the only species that makes such a fuss over what it is that we should eat. We're certainly the only ones that come up with complex ratios and does all these studies to figure out something that should just be inherently simple. And so the question becomes why? Why must we go through great lengths to answer a question that we should already know innately? Where then are our senses that should be indicating to us what our true source of food is? Because surely we must have them like every other creature on the planet. And I could assure you that we do. However, because we haven't really been living in accordance with any sort of a natural way of life, our senses have pretty much become either inactive or just simply ignored. But I'm going to just unveil a couple of the ways in which this process kind of has happened to us, okay? Unlike all other creatures on the planet, we seemingly are the only ones that have a choice whether to work with nature or against it. And we have this unique trait that makes us question and be curious and create and destroy, right? I think it's this trait that makes being human so beautiful. But I also think it's this same trait that has allowed us to live in this predicament that we're in, this illusion and this separation and disconnection reality that we've succumbed to. And when it comes to foods, there are 4 behaviors that I'm going to care to list right now that sort of create this air of delusion that trick our senses from knowing what it is that we should eat. These 4 things are cooking, seasoning, eating more than one thing at one time, and ultimately just buying things from grocery stores in general. All 4 of these things, nothing else in nature does. And if you cut out the first 3, you will immediately find out that majority of the stuff that we love it, is unpalatable. It's just, it just wouldn't even cross your mind as an option. Every other creature in nature is off eating one food at a time, unfired and unseasoned. We have the tools readily available to chemically alter and mask everything so frequently, and we've done it so much that we've turned off our senses that would make us say, why do I have to do all this? I should probably just not eat it then. Just go get a mango or something. You know? Our taste buds and our sense of smell has basically been numbed down so much by overconsumption of all these stimulating substances that we can no longer really taste an orange after years of starburst abuse. You can't really smell the delicate aroma of a watermelon after associating the bombarding stench of frying carcass with food and joy. It's like we're way too desensitized to sense what we would really be attracted to. Not to mention, I have this magical crystal powder that if you sprinkle it on anything, it'll become delicious even when it's nasty. That sounds like crack. No, come on, man. It's FDA approved. Stuff is totally legit and normal. Finally, because most of us shop at grocery stores predominantly, the door for behavioral disconnection has just swung wide open. Gaps in our understanding of where food really comes from and how it really gets there have been placed on us like never before. Surely, I believe that if most people had to murder their own animals just to eat, the rate for becoming vegetarian would skyrocket overnight, because most people don't want to do it. Most people don't want to deal with the blood and the lifting and the smell. It goes against all your senses, right? But because we don't have to do all of the labor, it allows us to get all the negative effects for way less effort. It's a setup. So the $1 million question, it's time to answer it. It's time for it to come to fruition. Get it? What would we eat naturally as a human being? The answer is fruit. So simple, right? And I can prove this with simple logic. If we eat like every other thing in nature, and we don't cook it, we don't season it, oil it, butter it, all these types of things, what other food would satisfy us so much? What other food doesn't require a bloody mess that smells bad, that makes us smell bad? Fruit digests the fastest. It has all the water in it that we need so that we don't really have to drink any water. It's the only rational source of food that a human would be attracted to, which is why we see in color. Because we're attracted to color, to be able to spot what it is that we would. That all being said, there is much to be mentioned about the dangers and the issues that one would most likely face trying to attempt a fruit-only diet with the level of toxicity that the average human carries. We come from a history of gummy worms and Coca-Cola and Kool-Aid out the faucet. All these things have leached the vital substances right up out of our body. So the average person literally just doesn't have what it takes to survive and thrive on nothing but fruit alone without coming into any issues. Two other things that we're really lacking in right now is information. Information based off of simple truth about how we work, how our body actually functions. And we need more people who've actually attempted the experimentation on ourselves so we can have some references and some experiences to go off of. Because there are many people who will sit there and say that it's impossible to live off of nothing but fruit, and they have never attempted it once. And even so, there are many who have tried but failed because they didn't really have any understanding of the process, because it's still so fairly new. They didn't understand that their body was going to go through a detoxification and all of these different things. Yeah. Our situation is delicate. Now, am I saying that you should throw out your oven and just eat fruits? Of course not. I simply just ask the question what it is that you do, why it is that you do it, and then who told you to. I make these videos to bring light and awareness to the situation that we're in right now. And ultimately, who am I anyway? I could be protein deficient. We're in such a disconnected and addicted, illusionary time that often we can't genuinely see why our actions are giving us certain reactions. We just can't seem to wrap our mind around why the world is so chaotic when we keep putting in this chaotic data that is animal flesh with all this energy of suffering and pain in it. We're just like a computer playing out the program once we put in the data. I used to eat McDonald's and simultaneously wonder why I was overweight. I wasn't able to see the connection between my behaviors and my results, right? If any of this has struck a chord within you and you've really begun to see that pharmaceutical companies lose money if you're not sick, that majority of the stuff that you've ever been told was put there to limit your reality and limit your understanding of what you are and the truth of the world that you're in, I do challenge you. I challenge you to be the change that you want to see in this world and to take up the responsibility of acquiring a new experience where there's not much other people who've done it yet. To challenge yourself to be the guiding light in your life, right? I'm going to post a video of shopping and methods of transition for anybody who's interested. But for now, take this simple challenge if you like. Go 1 week just eating foods that are uncooked with no salts, no seasonings, no spices, no sugars, no additives, and eat one food per meal until you're satisfied. Then tell me what tastes the best. What it is that you can get satisfied off of the best. Tell me what it was like when the addictions hit you and you didn't realize how attached you were to such stimulating foods as a cupcake. And how, after all that, ask yourself if you really want something like that to have that much power over your reality. Something so small to be controlling something that is so infinite. Like, comment, share, repost, subscribe, tell your mother, all that good stuff. I don't personally really make any money for telling people this, so I must be doing it for something, you know, just it's really to spread awareness. So if you do like it and all that type of stuff, maybe one day I'll make money off these videos and I'll be able to fund a lot of the projects that I have in mind. We'll only see in time. I myself am just an experiment. One light,